wastewater. You can be an active citizen. How? You can limit the type and the quantity of the waste produced. How? For example, your mother peels vegetables and fruits. Instead of throwing the peels in the dustbin, throw them in the soil, so that within 15 days of time or almost 45 days of time, they get mixed up in the soil and turn into manure in the soil. And one more thing what you can do is water the vegetables, they wash in water, that water also you can put in the plants. That way you can limit some amount of waste produced. Then you can, if you see people defecating, that means passing stools in the open and the garbage everywhere around our houses, the manholes overflowing. So in these situations what you can do, you can approach the municipality or municipal corporation of your city and suggest them to cover the open drains. If there are open drains around your houses, that will be a breed for that will cause many diseases. So what we can do, we can suggest the municipality to cover the open drains. Then if you see your neighbors polluting the place around you, then you can request the neighbors to be more considerate about others' health. That means you can tell them to dispose of the waste properly. Then you have to do better housekeeping practices. What you can do, you have to throw the oils and fats in the dustbin rather than in the drains. Oils and fats do not mix with the water in the drain and they clog the drains. That means they do not let the water to pass easily. They block the drains. So do not throw oil and fats in the dustbins. Then don't throw chemicals, solvents, paints, medicines in the drain. They kill useful microbes. So useful microbes cannot breathe with the help of these chemicals and solvents and paints. Then used tea leaves, soft toys, napkins, solid waste should be thrown in the dustbins only. They also clog the drains. Do not throw them in the drains. Throw them in the dustbins only. Then these waste choke the drains and hamper the free flow of oxygen. They do not allow the oxygen to pass. Then what you can do, sanitation and disease. Poor sanitation, contaminated water causes disease. If the surroundings are not clean, if the water you are drinking is not clean. Then defecation in the open, that means passing stools in the open. Whenever you go in the trains, you see people passing stools around the railway tracks, in the open places. Sometimes people pass stools directly in the water. In that situations, it poses a lot of hazard for the health. That means it causes water and soil pollution, and then the groundwater and the surface water gets polluted. It causes cholera, typhoid, dysentery, meningitis and hepatitis disease. That means defecation in the open, passing stools in the open poses a health hazard, contaminates the water, soil and causes many diseases. So this is about sanitation and disease. So we were discussing about sanitation and disease. So what happens if there is no proper sanitation and what diseases may occur? You see in India many places when you are going in railway, suppose you are going in trains or you see on the railway tracks people defecating in the open. What do you understand by defecating in the open? Defecating in the open means passing stools, passing excreta in the open. So defecation in the open means it occurs on the roads, near the rivers. Sometimes in the villages people even defecate directly in the river water, and then people defecate in the open roads, on the railway tracks and everywhere, many places. So what happens when they defecate in the open? This defecation in the open leads to the pollution, mainly air pollution, water pollution, ground pollution and everything. So what happens when the human excreta which was defecated in the open, it gets mixed with the groundwater and the surface water, and then sometimes it seeps inside also. Just from the surface water it seeps into the groundwater. Then what happens when we drink this water? How do we use the groundwater? We use groundwater through the bore wells, from the tube wells. We take the groundwater for our using purpose, right? Everybody has motors in their house, machines in their house. The bore well water, how we bring the bore well water from the ground through the tube wells, bore wells. So when the defecation happens in the open, and that time the groundwater mixes and the surface water mixes with the defecation, then this becomes polluted. So when we drink that water, we automatically get diseases. When this excreta, human excreta, gets mixed up with the groundwater, it causes pollution. It mixes with the soil, it causes pollution. So when we dig the ground for the groundwater and the surface water through the bore well purpose, for drinking purpose or for any using purpose, so this water is getting mixed up with this excreta and getting polluted. Thereby, it will pose a great health hazard. That means a great threat to your health. That means it can cause many diseases like cholera, typhoid and sometimes serious diseases like cancers and death also. So defecation in the open is the main cause of the diseases due to water. So the defecation so the human excreta which was passed in the open gets mixed up with the soil and the water, and when we consume the groundwater through the bore wells or the tube wells or the dug up wells, then through this water we get diseases like typhoid, cholera, etc. Then what are the alternate arrangements for sewage disposal? How can we dispose of so much of sewage is produced? So much of waste material is produced around us in hospitals. Lots of waste materials like saline bottles, used syringes, needles, then medicine covers, medicine strips, all those are produced. How do we dispose them? Then there are toilets in the public places, right? Many people use them in hospitals, etc. So they are low cost online sewage disposal systems available that involve a little low price. They are not much expensive. So how do these sewage disposal systems act? Examples are septic tanks. Septic tanks are established usually in hospitals where there is lots of usage of the toilets. So through the septic tanks, actually the human excreta what we pass, they are dispersed by two methods. First thing is the pipes, the drains of the human excreta are connected directly to the drainage system of our house, which opens into the manholes of the road, right? Other than that, there are separate tanks constructed for the drainage of these human excreta. Those tanks are known as septic tanks. So human excreta from each house is disposed in two ways. Either it is directly connected to the drainage and the drainage pipe opens into the manholes outside on the road what we see. Otherwise they are separate like water tanks. Separate tanks are constructed below the toilets underground. Those tanks are known as septic tanks where the toilets drain out. So that is one method of low cost sewage disposal system. Then one more method is chemical toilets where automatically the toilets will drain with the help of some chemicals present in them. Then one more thing is composting pits. Like suppose there is a layer of soil, then what happens? This human excreta will be deposited or any sewage will be deposited over the soil. Again that sewage or human excreta will be covered with a layer of soil. So they will be digging a big pit. A big pit is nothing but a hole in the earth. So they will dig a big hole in the earth. So in that hole the lowermost layer will be soil. Over the soil they will add the sewage. Sewage will be anything. All the waste material from our homes, vegetable peels, grasses, polythene covers, anything. Otherwise human feces or maybe animal feces or anything. Then again a layer of soil will be covered. So over a period of time, due to the presence of bacteria and all that will degrade, decompose and mix with the soil. So those are known as composting pits. That means a pit will be dug in the earth, thereby all the sewage will be added, and again a layer of sand or mud will be added. So over a period of time it gets mixed up and mixes with the soil. It gets decomposed and degraded. So it is a low cost thing, right? Doesn't require much labor. Only we have to do, we have to dig a big pit. That's it. Then we have to dispose all the sewage in that and cover with a layer of mud. So that is composting pits. Other than that, one more method what is available is on-site human waste disposal technology. On-site human waste disposal technology. That is like you see in our houses, in the public places, in the public toilets, manually scavenging will be done. What is scavenging? Cleaning the toilets. Some people, your municipal corporation workers will employ some human beings who come and clean those toilets manually with brooms, with acids and all the disinfectants available outside in the market like Harpic, Lysol, all these we have for cleaning toilets, right? Mr. Muzzle and all those. So all these are done with the help of human beings. They manually do that. It's not automatic. They bring brooms, they bring brushes and clean those toilets. But in this on-site human waste disposal technology, there is no need of scavenging. That means there is no need of human beings to come and clean these toilets. Automatically the scavenging will be done. Other than that, the excreta from these toilets will be automatically taken and will be transported to a biogas plant where biogas will be produced and used for a fuel purpose, for electricity, for cooking, anything. So you understood, right? That excreta will automatically be taken from these human waste disposal system and will directly go into a pit where it will be deposited, and over a period of time due to compression, pressure, degradation, decomposition, it will be turned into biogas. Right? That biogas will be used for fuel purpose. So this is how it occurs. And nowadays we see around us many bio toilets. No? Have you ever observed on the public places, for every 100 meters or for every 1 kilometer we have toilets everywhere, even on the highways, even in the cities. All those are bio toilets. They use energy from the sun, for the purpose of water, purpose of feeding. So there are lots of arrangements arranged by the government nowadays. Government has set certain standards for sanitation disposal. But unfortunately, we all do not follow all those sanitation disposal systems. One more thing the government has recently started is Swachh Bharat. What is Swachh Bharat? That means you should not pollute your areas around your homes. That you should dispose all the waste properly. Do not throw all the waste in the dustbins, in the garbage bins only. Do not throw anywhere. And what is the sanitation at public places? Sanitation at public places only explains the Swachh Bharat campaign. That means disposable of waste. You see in the bus stands, airports, railway stations, lots of waste will be produced. In the toilets also, lots of people will be using those toilets. So lot of quantity of excreta will be produced. Lot of waste disposal will be produced. So what you can do as an individual, what you can do is you have to do not scatter the litter. That means if you eat a biscuit packet or if you eat a chips packet, do not throw it immediately on the ground. Look for a dustbin, throw it in the dustbin. If you do not have a dustbin, put that wrapper or a cover in your bag. After you go home, throw it in the dustbin. That is what sanitation at public places is. Never throw anything on the ground, whatever you eat. Even in your homes also. Suppose if you are eating any biscuit or anything packed food brought from outside, the wrapper should never be thrown directly on the ground. You have to throw them in the dustbin. That is what the Swachh Bharat campaign explains. That do not pollute the areas around you. Throw everything in the dustbin. Maintain everything clean, even the roads, and educate the people around you, around your neighborhood, to maintain clean surroundings. Suppose the people around you do not maintain clean surroundings, then automatically you will also get diseases because of that, right? If they do not maintain proper cleanliness, then the bacteria will spread gradually to your surroundings also, that it may cause you health hazard and some diseases. So what you have to do, you have to adopt a good sanitation practice. That means dispose the waste properly. Do not throw it anywhere on the roads or around your houses. Then influence others with your energy and ideas. Educate the people around you. Take the help of the municipal corporation. Then educate others, have some energy, have some enthusiasm, have some optimism, that is positivity, and educate the others. Then don't wait for anyone to adapt. Like, don't think that if somebody else, my friend will come, then both of us shall teach others or start for. So don't wait for anyone else to adopt the enlightened action. That means if you want to follow that as an individual, you want to yourself to follow the Swachh Bharat, like to maintain a proper sanitation around you, maintain proper neatness of the roads around your houses. Don't wait for anyone. Like, my friend will come, then both of us together shall educate the people or maintain the neatness of the roads and the places around us. Like that, do not wait for anyone. The Mahatma Gandhi, famous freedom fighter, the father of the nation, he said that don't wait for anyone else to adopt a humane action or an enlightened action. Start individually, start yourself. If you start, then many people will join you and may help in maintaining the proper neatness and cleanliness of your surroundings. So this is about wastewater story. And the conclusion is that as an individual, maintain good cleanliness, maintain good sanitation, educate others, don't throw the waste anywhere, don't litter anywhere. If you do not find any dustbins, bring the packets in your bag to your home, throw everything in the dustbin so you never pollute, and educate others. So this is the conclusion of this chapter, wastewater story.